fight cause I'm very nice. I practice that every night to get on this herd mic. You know I'm alert, right? You know that it ain't nothing to serve, right? And I be killing tracks to the earth like my birthright. I'm solid like sound money and you fools sound.
Welcome to 3 Count Commentaries. Now we have to do a follow-up to the deranged attack on Seth Rollins on Monday Night Raw. And we now have more information. Now we know why this guy actually did what he did. So the New York Daily News on November the 24th put up a story. Fan who attacked WWE star Seth Rollins at Barclays Center sought revenge for apparent catfish scam, by Kerry Burke, John Anise, and Larry McShane. So we're going to read this story. We're also going to read what Seth Rollins had to say about this whole thing. This is kind of an old school 3 Count Commentaries video where I'm going to actually read articles. So this is so ridiculous. All right. So let's get into it. The latest WWE beef, pitting a star wrestler against a hardcore Brooklyn fan, was unscripted and sparked by a bizarre 2-year dispute. Fan Alicia Spencer, 24, charged wrestler Seth Rollins from out of nowhere after the Grappler's Monday night Barclays Center match with Finn Balor, taking the WWE star to the ground before staff and security subdued and carried the intruder away. He now faces criminal charges in the wild attack. Spencer told the New York Daily News he was trying to assist Rollins' rival during the Monday Night Raw show and wanted to settle a beef dating back to 2019 over what appears to be a catfishing scam concocted by someone posing as the popular wrestler. I apologize to the WWE for my actions, Spencer told the news at his Red Hook home. I had a legitimate beef, but as a grown man, I could have settled it in a different way. If I saw him today, I wouldn't attack him. I've moved on. Spencer told the news he first met Rollins at a meet and greet a few years ago when he asked the wrestling star for help to launch his own career in the business. But things went south after he started communicating on WhatsApp and other messenger services with someone he remains convinced was Rollins. He was asking me to send him gift cards in exchange for money, mostly $500 or more, to see if I was loyal, he said, he being Spencer. He asked me, he being Rollins, asked me to be a wrestling blogger for him. I wanted to work my way up. After buying about $3,000 in cards, the check that the person claimed to be, quote, Rollins, sent back bounced, Spencer said. Spencer said he communicated with Rollins through accounts under his WWE name and his real name, Colby Lopez, and was blocked on social media by Rollins' wife, Becky Lynch, who is the current Raw Women's Champion. He posted chat logs between himself and, quote, Rollins on his Instagram account after Monday's incident, but none of those exchanges showed anything that could prove he was actually talking to the wrestler. Let's stop right here. Let's stop right here. Remember the Velveteen Dream scenario? Remember that? So I know people say, "Oh, well, you can doctor things." That's the pitiful part of today's modern world, is you never really know who you're talking to, whether these things are real or not. When you give people your address, when you're buying something from people, you give them your credit card information, your address or something like that. You never really know. You know, you take a picture with somebody, all of a sudden. Now, not to get too political, but, you know, Jordan Peterson went through this thing. And Kyle Rittenhouse also just went through this thing, where you meet somebody and you take a picture with them. And then all of a sudden, you don't know who that person is really. And then all of a sudden later on, somebody says, "Oh yeah, remember this guy you took a picture with? He's a white nationalist. He's a member of the Proud Boys. He's a child rapist, pedophile, or something or other." Like all those people who took pictures with Epstein, who weren't on the island. You know, you have no idea who these people are. And you take pictures with them or you meet them. And then you find out later that they're some kind of maniac. And then it happens online too, when you're talking to somebody and you think you're talking to somebody who is a real person, but then they're not. It all seems very strange. And every time people accuse somebody of doing some wild shit on social media, I always go back to this. How can you be sure that the person you're talking to is the person you're saying that you're talking to? How can you be sure? This guy was certain he was talking to Seth Rollins. Clearly, he likely was not. Seth Rollins scamming somebody out of $3,000? Only $3,000? That sounds ridiculous. It sounds ridiculous. Let's get back to the article. Quote, all your true fans love you a lot, and the ones that are fake fans will be fake fans. Spencer wrote in one social media exchange. I am a real fan of yours. Rollins, speaking Wednesday with TMZ in Los Angeles, offered no indication of any interaction with Spencer and called for a ban on the fans' attendance at future WWE events. The hardcore wrestling fan recalled booking a front row seat to Monday's show as Rollins exited the ring after beating Balor. The 5'4", 180-pound Spencer rushed the WWE star. Then Spencer says, my plan was to help Finn Balor. I'm a fan, he said. I like his aura, his attitude. I like everything about his charisma. I like everything about him. So, let's take another pause. This guy says that Rollins catfished him, and he's a huge fan of Finn Balor. He likes his aura. He likes everything about him. And it was like the universe put him in this position. The universe says to him, Alicia Spencer, you need to go to Raw. Because there, you're going to find Seth Rollins, who gigged you out of $3,000. And you're going to find Finn Balor, who you are a super fan of. And for some odd reason, I'm pretty sure he had nothing to do with this. The universe put these two people in the same segment. He put these two people in the same segment. And this guy just couldn't contain himself. What is the likelihood of that occurring? What is the likelihood of that? Let's get back to the article. I jumped from where I was sitting at. I ran and speared Seth Rollins. I busted his lip open and he caught me in a headlock, he continued. He being Spencer. I broke the headlock and was trying to get him. Then the referees and the security guards broke us apart. That's not what I saw. I didn't see him break the headlock. I saw the referee mouth some words to Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins kind of loosened up on the front face lock. Whatever. Police charged Spencer with attempted assault and attempted violation of arts and cultural affairs by disrupting a live sporting event. He was giving a desk appearance ticket to appear in court at a future date and released. WWE takes the safety of its performers very seriously, the professional wrestling company said in a Wednesday statement. The individual who attacked Seth Rollins has been turned over to the NYPD and will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And that is the end of the article. How bizarre. In New York, there really is a law that says you cannot disrupt the violation of arts and cultural affairs. So that means when these weirdos are dancing in the street, you can't walk between them or anything like that? Because I literally saw, I think it was de Blasio. When he had everybody locked down, he still allowed like weird street dancing. So if you was walking down the street and like do, and you like walked in between or rode your bike or something in between these weird street dancers, you could get prosecuted for that. There's somebody, I think D-Mac is on my channel. He's from New York. Let me know whether that's legal or not, because it sounds pretty ridiculous. Sounds pretty ridiculous that you can't. Well, I understand like not jumping railings and things like that. You don't want that. I don't want anybody jumping into the fire pit during Cirque du Soleil or anything like that. But just saying. So November 23rd, Seth Rollins discussed this issue with TMZ, and I hate that it's TMZ that is involved with this nonsense. But here it is. WWE superstar Seth Rollins is opening up about the out-of-control fan who speared him during a taping of Raw, saying he was shocked and terrified and believes the attacker should be banned, at least for now. The 35-year-old wrestler just touched down in Los Angeles, less than 24 hours after he was on the receiving end of attempted assault, and he admitted he was shook by the whole thing. It's terrifying, brother, Rollins said, providing a play-by-play of the incident. It happened very quickly. I was mostly just reacting and hoping that our security would come and do their job, which they did very quickly, and then was just trying to detach and move on. Hope that everybody is okay. After the attack, there was confusion about whether the whole melee was part of the show. Something Rollins shot down, saying, "Once the tackle happened, I knew what was going on. The guy was barreling around the corner." Luckily, Seth says he was not injured during the attack. No serious injuries, nothing like that. I was safe. We were safe. Everything was okay. As we previously reported, the 24-year-old fan has been hit with 2 charges in NYC, but Rollins was tight-lipped on whether he wants to prosecute the guy criminally. However, Seth is sure he doesn't want to see the fan sitting at ringside at WWE anytime soon. He said, and Rollins says, "I think as a precedent, he probably should not be allowed at the events." So we're going to end up banning Mr. Alicia Spencer, who was catfished by Seth Rollins and a Finn Balor superfan. I definitely think we need to do an IQ test. I was hoping that this whole Alicia Spencer thing was a mentally disabled fan who was really just kind of drawn in by Finn Balor. And look, it could that doesn't mean that I was wrong. He's not as slow as I thought he would be, but that doesn't mean that I was wrong. Okay, he clearly was either easily fooled, which would mean his IQ is pretty low. He's not, but he's not the what I thought he was. He's a little sharper than I thought he was. At the same time, look, man, I think people are making the most out of this thing. It's an interesting story. Now we know that his motives are that he got catfished by Rollins and scammed out of $3,000. I mean, that's pretty crazy, bruh. I would fight somebody if they scammed me out of $3,000. I'd fight them too. But then again, I probably would have been, me, I'm cheap. when they asked for the first 500, I'd be like, what? Over the internet.com? Oh no, brother. No way, brother. I'm not sending you $500. No. Unless it was a donation to some type of charity or something like that I can check up on. Or, a person that I know. I'm not sending $500 over the internet. You have to be a reputable company for me to send you $500. Are you serious? This guy, this whole thing, I can only hope that we can end this thing peacefully. The nice little cherry on top of this was Chavo Guerrero. Now everybody knows that Chavo Guerrero was bumping his lips, and he ended up backing off of that. So just kind of to add some closure to this thing, let's talk about Chavo Guerrero and his sort of, I don't know what you call it, an apology, but let's see what he had to say. To quote unquote clarify, whenever you have to clarify your messaging, something is wrong. Okay. Guerrero made an update tweet last night and said he meant no disrespect to Rollins. Chavo Guerrero said, "That got out of hand quickly. Instead of deleting, I would say it and say no disrespect to Seth Rollins. I have had many agree and disagree. Only comes from love in the biz that has fed my fam for 85 years. The fact is, Seth should have never been put in that position in the first place." That is not an apology. That is not an apology. He also did not back off of the statement. He's only saying, well, you shouldn't have been there anyway. I mean, hey, it sucks. You shouldn't have been there. Shouldn't have been in that position. So he's not backing off of his position. He's just saying, I feel bad for old Seth because obviously he's not a shooter. He wasn't ready for this. It's like, you're right. Nobody is. He got jumped from the side from some little bullet of a human being who got a pretty good running start to take him down. This all such a huge boondoggle. 24-year-old fan. So that means if this guy was a super fan of Finn Balor, that means he was 18 or 17 or something like that when Balor first showed up, and been watching him all this time. 2019, that was 2 years ago. He was 22. Poor guy. People take advantage of him. He got quote unquote catfished. But I'm beginning to wonder, of course, how true all of this is. Mainly because, again, how the universe just put the two guys, one guy you love so much, the other guy you feel scammed you out of money, in one match. And you just happen to be there in the city you happen to live in. And everything comes across as the stars are all aligned. And then you're like, I can get them. I can take them. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel, donate to the channel. Thank you guys for your time, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace out.
I can only be great.